Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. It's a beautiful day in the middle of December and well, I'm in the wreckers again. I thought I was done going to the wreckers for this year, but this day was too nice to pass up. So let's see what we got. Well, scrap must be still paying good. You can see here we've got a set of harrows and a really nice set of 3-point hitch discs that you can see the tag on it here. Somebody's bought it at an auction and just brought it straight here. Unbelievable. At this first generation Neon, we'll grab the knuckles off if we use them on the racing cars. I managed to get the knuckles off the Neon, but this one here you can see on the Acclaim, the center nut and the axle. I try to get that off before I do anything, and it's really on there. This car's been sitting here in the mud a long time, so next time I come here, I'll have to bring a 3/4 breaker bar and probably about a 4-foot piece of pipe to get that thing cracked free, and then I'll be able to get this knuckle off. And here's a cool thing I found, a nice cast snap-on emblem. Nick from the Real Guy Garage is wandering around in here somewhere too. We met up here today, so I'm going to give this to him. I told him I'd give it to him. He can put it on one of his toolboxes. Always something good to see at the wreckers. Nick from the Real Guy Garage just got his truck painted. It looks pretty snazzy, I'd say. So let's go through here and I'll show you all my loot from the wreckers today. This here is an old school mechanical Chrysler cruise control servo. Does it work? Who knows? Have to put it on a car, but the one on my Duster is acting up, so maybe that one's okay. These two pneumatic guns, I don't know what they're even for, but we'll see what we could find out. I got like a brand new rear flex hose from something. Here, this is cool. A 60 to 64 Galaxy clutch pedal that somebody sawed off. I don't know why somebody would do that, but well, they did. But the good news is, if you're going to go with a hydraulic clutch, it doesn't really matter. You could just weld on a top end from an old automatic brake pedal, and it'll work just fine because there won't be a ton of strain on it. Here, a York air conditioning compressor that turns. These are great. Not to use as air conditioning compressors, but off-road guys love them for onboard air, for inflating their tires after they air them down to go over, you know, some of the crazy obstacles they go over. Here is the pair of first generation Neon knuckles that we pulled off. This here, a Dura Spark ignition box. I think somebody's cleaned it up and painted it silver, but it's pretty decent looking. We'll try it on one of the old Fords and see if it works. There's a faceplate for an old radio. These things here are raising or lowering blocks. They can go either way. They look to be 1/2 inch or 5/8. I might put those on my Brown Valiant because the back end of it sits up just a little high. That might be just the ticket. These things, they're plumbing as Escutcheons. I found them in the back of a truck, a whole bunch of them. But what's interesting, the inside diameter of these is 2 1/8 inch, which means 2 1/8 gauges will fit in this. So if you wanted to use these for little bezels for your gauges to give your dash some depth, if you were doing some, you know, custom work, they might be just the ticket. I got this 6-inch C-clamp. Here we got a couple of sets of single cam Neon rockers. Nothing too special about these, but what happens is, you can see here, this little, see that? That's what runs on top of the valve. And they're held in by these little plastic clips, which always break and disintegrate. And as long as the engine's together, the little ball thing stays in there. As soon as you lift these off, it comes out. So we're always looking for these little plastic clips, and the easiest way to get lots of them is to grab sets of rockers at the junkyard. So that's what we did. Here is a 5-speed shifter we grabbed from a Ford Ranger. We've got a couple of our upcoming projects that are going to involve 5-speed transmissions. So that's what that's for. And then last but not least, oh no, I got 2 things left. Look at that. 2 aluminum yardsticks. They were just laying inside a car. The place is fantastic. What a wrecking yard. And then the last thing, I pulled this out of an old truck. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. It's a SPS by Audiovox. Now, these things were, if you went in the dealership in the 80s or the 90s, you'd see a big pyramid standing in the corner with these things on them. And they were basically, Audiovox made them for Chrysler. And what they were was, if you were looking at a car on the lot that only had an AM/FM radio and you wanted a cassette deck, they would put one of these in it. It cost a lot less than upgrading with factory stuff because, well, it's not as good as factory stuff. If you pick this thing up, it weighs about a quarter what a factory AM/FM cassette deck would weigh. I think they were made by Motorola, like to assembly line standards. But hey, you never know. This thing might work. Time will tell. Some other stuff I picked up along the way for our little red truck when we put the 4-speed in it. This is an old Hearst Competition Plus box that has some issues. Number one of the stoppers is blown out of it. And number 2, the it's been hacked. This thing probably was designed to be used with a push-in stick, and somebody's opened it up so they could put a bolt-in stick in it. That's fine. We'd probably go with the bolt-in stick anyway. And you can see here the pivot bolt is gone. So we'll have to put one of those in. But otherwise, you know, well, it's still a Competition Plus box. Got some carburetors too. These are 1-barrel Holley 1920s for the Slant 6. I wouldn't mind trying one of these on the old truck. So I grabbed a couple of them, and we'll hope there's enough stuff here to make one that works. And this here is a 2-barrel for a Slant 6, which is essentially the same as the 2-barrel that was used on the 318, with, of course, the internal calibrations of it are slightly different. And the main difference is this here, the lever arm for the choke. The one on the Slant 6 carburetor is unique. Well, let's see if this thing works, whatever it is. Some kind of sander, I assume. So it seems it's some kind of a random orbit body sander, and you can see it works just fine. That's the red one. The blue one's got the wrong fitting. I'm going to swap the fitting on it, and we'll see if it works. So the blue one works too. Unbelievable. Somebody just threw these in a scrap car and sent them to the junkyard. When I got back to my truck, I found that Nick from Real Guy Garage had left me a couple of goodies. This old tough wheel, mostly what we need is that adapter for our little red pickup truck. I want to put a tough wheel in it. This tough wheel has seen better days, but the adapter and the horn button and the horn switch are still good. I've got one of the Grant aftermarket ones that looks almost the same, but not quite. So we'll use that. And he brought me a 4-speed shifter knob, which is something we also needed for that deal. I'll show you what this goes on in a minute when we go in the house. It's not a junkyard thing. I bought it on eBay, but it should be pretty cool. So this I bought on eBay. This is a number 4331 Hearst stick, which is basically the pickup truck stick. So you can see if we're sitting on this couch as a bench seat in our pickup truck, this kind of comes out of the floor like so, and you can go through your gears without hitting the seat. So this here should be the right thread, this ball that Nick gave me. Yikes. Hang on. There we go. Instant credibility. So now we'll have our overdrive 4-speed. And hopefully we can use that Competition Plus box that we've got outside. Otherwise, if we can't, we'll just use this stick in the stock box. It was made by Hearst. It's just not a Competition Plus. And we should be good to go and have a fun little truck to drive. Anyway, that was fun. Another good solid day at the Wreckers. Another funny thing that happened at the Wreckers today. Don't ask me. I get in there in the back of the yard and I go, man, it's bright out here. Where's my sunglasses? Checked all my pockets, you know. I said, I got the clip on one, right? It clips onto my glasses. I said, I don't know. I must have left them in the truck. So I was wandering around in there. And when I was done, I came out and I got back to the truck and I go, oh man, my sunglasses. So I opened the door, looked around on the dash and the console and that. No sunglasses. I don't know where the hell they are. So I had changed my coat when I got there. So I said, maybe they're in the pocket of my other coat. I get my other coat out, go through all the pockets. No sunglasses. So I said, that's really weird. So Nick had parked his truck beside mine and he told me there was some loot inside it for him. So for me. And I opened the door and I look, oh, poor Nick. There's his sunglasses sitting on his seat with one arm busted off. And I said, man, he's having a bad sunglasses day just like me. And I got my stuff out, closed the door of his truck and looked down and there was my sunglasses squished into the mud between our trucks. Oh, I'd already stepped on them for sure because I could see a boot print from my boot kind of over top of them. And you could see, lucky, when he came in and parked, the arc track of his front tire just missed him by about that much. That would have finished them. Anyway, thank goodness I got them and I swished them around in some water and got them cleaned up. And they weren't scratched or nothing. They weren't bent, broken. And I put them back on. But so we both had a bad sunglasses day. And while we were in there, I'm still waiting to hear back from Nick. I was at the front of the yard and he was at the back of the yard. And I could hear the crunching of tires. You look up every time a truck comes in because you never know what these guys are bringing in. And you got to scoot right over there to get the stuff as they're firing it out because people scrap good stuff. Anyway, I look, there's a trailer with a 9N tractor on it. Oh, so right away I'm texting to Nick, get up to the front. A guy just dragged in a 9N. So he came running and we were looking at lots of good stuff on this thing. Anyway, the guy picked it up with the loader and took off with it. We thought he took it around the corner and dropped it. So I had to go. I couldn't stay there anymore. I had to go, but Nick stayed. And he texted me a little while later. He went to get some parts off it, and they put the damn thing on top of the pile. So he was, last I heard, he was going to go and ask the guy at the loader if he would bring it back down so he could get some parts off it. And there's one thing I needed off it too. So if it came down, hopefully he got that for me. Anyway, I don't know what happened. I haven't talked to him since, but I guess we'll find out at some point. I'll talk to him in the next day or two. Anyway, so that was a lot of fun. Maybe that's the last junkyard crawl before Christmas. You might be watching this after Christmas, but it's before Christmas when I did it. It's a Friday, so what is it, the 16th, 17th? It was beautiful today. Sunny, around 40 degrees. It was just beautiful. I had fun in there. I helped a guy, a poor guy. He was trying to get the front knuckles off a 3rd gen Ram. And man, they're an aluminum knuckle, right? You figure it would be easy to get that soft, malleable aluminum off the steel stem of the ball joint, just give it a whack. Oh, what a time we had. The poor guy broke his pickle fork, broke his hammer. So I come over and helped him. And what it all boiled down to is just working in a place like that. 2 hands. The guy had the tools, well, until they broke. He didn't have enough hands to be doing this sort of stuff in the junkyard. So I gave him a hand, and between 4 hands and my hammer that was not broken in, and we got it off for him. Poor guy trying to get his truck fixed and he couldn't. It's so frustrating when you can't get the parts off in the junkyard because you're missing one friggin' tool. Been there, done that. Happened to me today. I needed a big 3/4 bar and a 1 1/4 socket to get the knuckle off that acclaim. Anyway, I'll be back for that someday. I will get that knuckle. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you had fun at the junkyard with me today. I always have fun at the junkyard. It's my favorite place in the world to be, especially an old school one like that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. So long for now.